Jaime, you were saying that you felt some of it was related to self-hatred, that they see their dad.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the kids that are growing up here, maybe they came at a very young age, maybe they were born here, you know, maybe they are first generation, have that, want to distinct themselves from that home, you know, from those frijoles, from that arroz, from their mom wearing the apron all day, you know, and going out to the market like that, and they hate those kids that are the newcomers, or they feel this resentment against them because it reminds them what you have at home. And I always tell them, don't hate those kids because they remind you of what you know you have at home. They remind you of your tío, they remind you of your dad, because I bet you your dad wears shorts and, you know, boots, you know, and has a soccer shirt on or a cap on, you know. It's like, and I tell them you should embrace that, you know. They're just a reminder of who you are, and they might not be hip like you, they may not shop at the places you shop, because that's a big deal to most of the elementary and the high school kids.
What's a hip place to shop?
Hot Topics or at Gap, or have something from Eddie Bauer. And we're talking about kids that have, you know, Chafa Tommy Hilfiger on, you know. And,
Speaking of which, this shirt right here,
Tommy Hilfiger.
I get compliments on this shirt all the time, but I bought it for $5 at the mall. Tommy H Sports.
I would like to flash $5 right now, right?
I'm proud of the fact that Latinos, we bargain shop. And we go to taquerias and we buy 4 tacos and then separate the tortillas and make 8 tacos to feed our family.
It's simple math.
We do what we got to do to survive. And I'm proud about the fact that, like we were talking about the language thing, there's a lot of things that, like the word mimis. We go to sleep at night, we go mimis. I didn't know mimis wasn't English. It wasn't English till I got to college. I thought it was English. I thought everyone goes mimis.
No.
And I thought, you know, it's time for mimis, bro. It's time for mimis. Let's go. It's time for mimis. My friends are like, Mimi? Who's Mimi, dude? I didn't realize that that wasn't English. I thought it was English. And there's a lot of things like that I just realized that my experience as a Latino, as a pocho growing up, I think that everyone does that. I think that everyone does those things. And it isn't until you experience, you know, different cultures, like when you go to college or you get out of the house, that you start going, wait, maybe I am a little bit different than these guys. Maybe they are weirder than me.
This is a real cry for help, isn't it?
Absolutely. Ernie need a hug.
Ernie has a real strong, he has a real strong need to be nurtured with the mimis and the ruru. And, you know, Mexico elected a Coca-Cola executive to be president. And I think if a lot of our social leaders and political leaders had that experience, they might identify some of these different segments that have different needs. Because if you have a child who is having a hard time assimilating, then you can look at what the need is. When we talk to consumers, we talk to immigrants, illegals, pochos, Dominicans, Mexicans, Chicanos, and they all have different life experience. The only thing that we have in common is that we're all here. But besides that, we're all different. So you look at that difference, and then you find, okay, what can I do to fill that need? Is it a mentoring program? Is it a leadership program? Is it nurturing? What is it? And then we can resolve it.
I don't think it should be a point about assimilating, because I definitely don't want to assimilate, you know. And I feel, and I tell that to my kids, and I go into work sometimes, you know, with my blusas bordadas from Mexico, and some of my kids like laugh, oh, you're dressed like an India, and I go, yeah, and I'm proud of it, you know. And there should be nothing wrong. And I do my aunts have a Aztec dancing troupe, and I perform sometimes with my aunts, and I tell the kids that should not be something that you're ashamed of. I don't want to become, you know, another one of the Gap models and just be like, you know, monotone earth colors, you know, and like laugh like this.
You know?
Assimilation doesn't mean isn't a cop out. Because let's say okay, Mexican time. What time do you get, if a party's at 7, what time do you get there?
At 7.
See, there's 7. Okay, some of us get there.
No,
you can ask anybody.
If a flight is at 7,
on-time Mexican.
If a flight is at 7, what time do you get there?
I get there.
I think it's a matter of a culture.
Exactly.
I think understanding the culture and accepting the culture. I think those two things that has to be probably brought up like she's doing, Libertad is doing with the kids. If you actually put samples to the people and you see what's going on in the community, accept that part, and accept that the part of the going on of the economic taking a big place in this actually in this whole United States. And so that's a matter of acceptance to our culture, and then adding the rest of the cultures that is around us, because there are other cultures that we have to accept and also be
Yeah.
part of
You
them.
borrow from the best.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
borrow from
But
them.
I want to say, you know, when I was a kid, I mean, my parents, to say something was americano was an insult and a compliment. Un carro americano, great car. La leche americana, great milk.
You're right.
But when we were acting bad, they're going, you're acting like spoiled American children. And that was like, boom.
Yeah.
You know? So you're talking about what is the American...
I think we're changing it and we're transforming it. And whatever we think
Well, you
America, oh, absolutely. You are too. You good looking. You know, whoever thought like a semi-looking good guy was hosting. I'm just playing.
An English language Latino show. Whoa,
Wow.
that's
But that's what's
otherworldly.
happening. You dance like that, the Aztec dance, and I learned as a Mexican. I learned watching you, and I go, wow, that's part of me too.
Yeah.
And the culture is just getting bigger and more beautiful and more. You know, the shift that's happening, and now you know Ricky Martin is now a part of American culture.
Wow, that is so awesome.
You know what I'm saying? But 5 years ago, he wasn't.
Yeah,
he was
but I
a
mean-
Latin singer.
Yeah, but I mean, we also grow up going to school, never hearing about anything about Chicanos, right?
Right.
Come on, you know, get any history book.
Let's
and
talk
tell me-
about teaching Chicano history and
it's difficult. It's difficult having little children, even high school students, accept that they're Chicanos or that they're brown, that they're Mexicanos, and that they should be proud of who they are. You know, that we as well have contributed to this, you know, United States, and just the way as Africans were slaves, Mexicanos were slaves, and I mean, it's totally difficult for us to do that. It's difficult because kids don't have that self-hatred that I don't want to learn about who I am. I don't care about, you know, about that. But when you give them a little drop of it, you know,
They
and
love it.
they love it.
That's
you know?
why. That's
But-
why us being here now, and that's why I decided to quit graduate school and become a comedian. Because just when I tell a joke on stage and I say tortilla, it doesn't even have to be funny. Just the fact that I say tortilla on television, I get emails from kids all over the country saying, "Oh my God, it was awesome! I want to be a comedian just like you." Just seeing somebody on stage on television that you can relate to.
just from the
creates-
word tortilla. And
Exactly.
today he is the Mormon Tabernacle. Let's talk. Nell, you lived in Latin America, right?
Yeah, I
What-
live over here in
But
in
you were
Mexico.
born
I
in
mean, in Mexico. I live in Mexico. I was born in Mexico.
Isn't
and
it true that the Mexicanos had a perception of the Americans that that the United States everything was beautiful and, you know, modern and stuff like that? We have
Vision?
no
The-
concept. We have
concept was not the
unrealistic
same.
concepts of what each other is
Yeah,
like.
what happened is in Mexico, we believe that everything is beautiful in the United States. If we see one dress from the United States, we buy it and we
Todo
see
es mejor ahí.
everything is mejor, including the Mexican Americans. The people who were born here, we thought, well, they have other language other than Spanish, so they're better than us in a way. So when we're there, we're respected for that because you have two languages. And like Ernie was saying, you know, he just had to say the word tortilla on the stage to actually to have an applause or something, right? So it's because we are adding, we are doing a lot of contributions to this culture and to other many cultures that are around us, because now a Mexican person can sit in a place in a McDonald's and ask for a hamburger, and then a gringo can sit in Placito Olvera and ask for a taco there. So they're just accepting that, again, we are looking at our culture, like growing, adding our culture to other cultures.
To the American diet.
And we are also adding to our own culture the new cultures. So it's getting better and better.
McDonald's has a fiesta menu coming out. Can you
that
believe
is so
that?
beautiful.
With guacamole on their
Do you,
Big
instead of a
Macs.
Happy Meal, is it like a piñata meal? Or something?
It's
We'll
a
be back with more
fiesta meal.
Cafe California with our gastronomical look here at. It went from fashion to food. Okay. You know, my parents, when we were kids, they didn't understand why my country. We received a great deal of mail regarding the appearance of George P. Bush, including these two opposing emails. What does George P. Bush know about Latinos except through the rose-colored lens of his life as a Bush? Signed, Pancho Pantera. And this sums up how many of our female viewers felt. I was truly impressed by George P. Bush's appearance. He came across as being well-mannered, articulate, and truly concerned with our issues. He also scored a 10 on my Papi Chulo meter. That was signed every Latina under 80.